day after Halloween, as I am recording. As you are listening, it has been 2 days since the Halloween day was officially over with. And I want to hope that everyone had a fantastic Halloween, got all the candy and all the tricks and treats that they wanted to do. Even did some trunk and treating too. We talked about that on Save the Planet podcast this past week. Hopefully this doesn't become another hocus pocus type situation when it comes to opinions or whatnot. I had a few friends of mine just be like, "Are you serious?" I'm not going to go back into it. You can go back. It's an older episode of Save the Planet podcast, but I do have opinions on hocus pocus. But that's neither here nor there. This is a video game podcast, and I welcome you into On My Own. Thank you so much for listening here on Spreaker, or Spotify, or Apple Podcast, or iHeartRadio, or wherever you may be listening to that OMO is on. Last week I said it, and I'm sticking by it. I've stuck by it all week. No Xbox talk. Prior to me mentioning it here, no Xbox talk. I am as sick of it as you are. And there was more, like not major stuff, but more follow-up stuff from last week that I could go into. I'm not doing it. Today we are going to go into other things, and I think overall this episode is going to be a lot more positive. It's going to be a lot of good things to talk about. Some things that I don't particularly like, but overall, I think we have a pretty decent episode on hand here tonight, or today, or whenever you're listening it. With this, I really wanted to think of what I wanted to talk about first, because there's one that's bigger, in my opinion, than what I'm going to start off with here. But I think I want to talk to this just to go ahead and get it out of the way. And that is, YouTube is implementing new policies to combat graphic content or graphic violence in video games. Per the Verge article, they'll be updating their policies on this graphic content where you have to be either a signed in user that is 18 plus, and anybody that is not signed in that's 18 plus, or just signed in general, cannot watch these kind of video game videos. You can look on The Verge's article, goes over a little bit more. Their main tagline for what they're doing is, YouTube will age gate an additional small subset of violent content, even if it's from a video game. So it sounds like they're just, in general, trying to weed out some more of the violent stuff that gets posted on their site. I understand why they're doing it for them, especially if they want more advertisers. They want to be more friendly to everyone so they get more people on the site. This is not something new to YouTube. YouTube's been doing stuff like this for years, trying to clean up its stuff from people just wanting to post some of the most crazy, vile stuff on there. This is not new. It's kind of what turned me off a lot on YouTube for a long time in terms of uploading my own stuff, because where's the line? Where's the line in this? I understand that, like, you don't want to go too graphic, like, all I'm going to do is run over a bunch of people in, like, Saints Row or something, and then, like, put their heads against one of the back tires and just run it over or whatever. Yeah, I understand not doing that. I understand not violently torturing some random NPC. Don't get me wrong, but the way they've worded it is just really vague. Spokesperson, and this is going back to the Verge article for YouTube, says certain content may be age restricted if it's non-fleeting or zoomed in. There may be ways that creators can choose to play missions to avoid content that would lead to an age restriction. So you have to change up the way you play your video game? Just because YouTube's like, no, we don't want that. I feel like they already get rid of the stuff that they deem too much. Maybe they don't, but where's the line? Again, I ask, where's the line? Where's the definitive line? Okay, so What if someone just ends up killing one too many NPCs while doing a mission by accident? Like, they're not trying to. It's not something. They just might run over an NPC or two. Is that too much? Define what the line is. Are games going to suffer? Are people that create stuff in certain games going to suffer for this? Obviously, the first game everyone thought about whenever this was made was, oh, how's this going to affect GTA 6 when it comes out? What's going to happen with GTA 6? Heck, I still worry about the GTA 5 content that's out now. That's been out for over a decade now. They brought it up in the Verge article. What about the No Russian scene? I'm assuming that's one that will be censored because that's a pretty brutal scene. But that's also been a scene that's been known about for years. Over a decade as well. But of course, they didn't clarify this. They didn't clarify it. They just said, don't show anything close up. Don't show anything really zoomed in or whatever. We get it. We get not to be that extreme with it. But tell us exactly what you want. This is a straight up just PR stunt. Just to make them look better. And try to get more advertisers there. Which is fine. If people want to create for your site and you're wanting to put this in there, fine. I think people, especially if they're making their livelihoods with it, would be more than willing to adapt the stuff, just like you have to adapt with the ongoing market. Just tell the creators what exactly you don't want to see. They've always done this. They always say something, and at first they just don't clarify what it is. And people have to figure it out on their own. Clarify. If you're afraid of people leaving your site or making stuff on their own sites or going to a different competitor or whatnot, who's competing with YouTube? To this day, there is no one that's competing with YouTube on anything. The only thing close are live streams. But YouTube is such a different thing that not only can you do live streams on YouTube, you can make your own edited content. You can make short films. You could make vlogs. Anything you want on YouTube is available. That's why YouTube is such a viable tool. It's such a viable platform. But if you don't want certain things on your site, how about tell your creators what you do not want so they can work around it? But no, it's always this vague nonsense. Give us a more definitive idea of what you don't want, and I'm sure creators will abide by it. Now, I'm not a creator of video game content. I've tried a few times. I just can't get into it. Not my thing. I'd rather talk about stuff. I'd rather be radio, podcasting type deal. And then for video, work on stuff like short films and travel stuff and everything like that. When it comes to video game stuff, I love watching it. Don't get me wrong. I love when other people do it. And I'm assuming that this is just annoying because they're not clear. And they never are clear. And then you have to wait maybe a year and see what happens with other creators and see who gets tagged first before you get some clarity. People will go with it because it's your platform. You have every right to do this. It's not a thing of, oh, you don't have the right to do this. You have every right to do it. But you're not being fair to people that want to make stuff on your platform. At least in my mind, you're not. Also, again with the advertiser stuff, this feels so stupid. Like, the understanding part of me is that last 5-10 minutes. But me being more rash feeling about it, my first thoughts were, it's a video game. Is this going on the thought process of video games may cause violence, and it's the sole reason? Is that part of it? Is the other, obviously the part is, a part of it is, we just don't want this because advertisers will see it and they don't want to advertise with us if they see such violent content on our site. Okay, fine. Understandable. But it's just a video game. It's a bunch of pixels on a screen. This doesn't happen. This isn't happening to real people. I think this just goes to a broader issue in the world nowadays. That this could be, anything like this could just be an adding factor, not the main factor, and I will stand by that. Video games are not the main factor in terms of violence. In terms of every major bad thing that's happened, in terms of mass shootings and stuff here in the United States anyways, I don't think it's the main reason, but it's a multiple factor of reasons that are a huge wider picture than what I'm willing to talk about on this video game show. It's a video game. You play it whenever you're bored. These aren't real people. You can glitch the game and make the pixels all messed up to where you can obviously tell they're not real people. Be honest about what you want and what you don't want after that emotional reaction that most people get. We will calm down. We will think about it. We will understand where you're coming from, or we won't, and we'll decide whether we want to stay on your platform after your policy change, or we don't, and we want to go somewhere else. And that should be completely fine. But you not setting a certain line is not helping the creator determine whether they understand or don't. You're confusing them, or you're making them lean towards a more emotional answer. Because you're adding more unnecessary stress by not clarifying what you don't want, which might heighten emotional reactions, and then they'll make a decision or badmouth your site like everyone's always done whenever you do stupid stuff like this. And it could honestly be not that big of a deal. But who would know? Who would know? Because apparently YouTube doesn't even really know. They know they don't want it too graphic. They know they don't want it too much. But they don't really know where that line is. So they're going to let computers figure it out for them. Fantastic. That new policy goes into effect November 17th. So as of this recording, and as whenever this goes up on the 2nd, you have about 16 more days. Or, I'm sorry, 15 more days of how the policy is now is going to be how it is. November 17th hits. Just be careful how you post your stuff. And try to do some more research and see if there's any more stuff that comes out before then that YouTube will clarify this some, because right now, it's not very clear. And I wish it was. Now on to some good news. Some better news, actually. So for the first time, since I want to say around mid-2021, it's been a hot minute. Animal Crossing New Horizon is getting an update 3. After Nintendo said they were done, there wasn't going to be anything added to Animal Crossing New Horizon. We are getting an update 3. Look, Animal Crossing New Horizon, along with Doom Eternal, was a very nice light at a time where the world really needed something like that to happen. Really needed some good stuff to come out whenever everything was just looking so bad with COVID and the uncertainty of where we were then. So Animal Crossing New Horizon and Doom Eternal coming out virtually within the same time period, which was the time of COVID really going at the worst. It was nice. It was nice to see those two games come out that time. And they're just they're so different, obviously, from one another. It was it was a nice, funny contrast in between the two video games that the world obviously needed. And Animal Crossing New Horizon, while not the best Animal Crossing, especially when it first came out, and they definitely cut stuff from the beginning that is in there now, but at first was not. And it was very, very not liked because of that. It's still a fantastic game. It's a nice, chill time. Even after I made my world and got everything set up how I wanted it, and then they start adding new things, and I could customize it even more, make my house bigger. It got to a point where I couldn't do that much because you need more bells, and then there just became less and less to do that I was really not willing to do. But just for like 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, just sitting there playing a little bit of New Horizon for a bit was really fun. It was a good time whenever I was playing it the most. And then for the next few years, I would come back and all my villagers would say, or I guess villagers, all my residents would say, "Where have you been? It's been 7 months." And I'm like, oh my God, has it been 7 months since I picked this up? Uh-oh. And then I'd give it about 5-10 minutes. The time would become less and less the longer time went because I just got bored with it after a while. Because I'd done everything that I wanted to do. I made a world. I got people that I was okay with living in my island. I got a pretty decent looking house. I got a lot of stuff in my house. So it was a good time. And when they announced that the last DLC was back in 2021, that there would be no more, I mean, what else was there to do after that? So for the last 4 years or so, it's not like I really had anything different to try out that wasn't already in the game, that I probably already tried. So it's no wonder it'd be like 7 months until I came back. But now, and not only is this a new version or a new update, there's a new version that's for the Switch too. So this big update is actually going for both the Switch and the Switch 2 versions. So I don't even have to update to a Switch 2, which, again, I've mentioned in a previous episode, actually the last episode. I might look into it now after all the stuff I figured out last episode was just completely overblown some. So if I wanted this version, which is nice, I'll get that into that here in a minute, but I really don't have to because the Switch version is also getting a majority of the stuff. But if you do plan on getting the Switch 2 version, there are new things that are coming to it. One of them is obviously the graphic improvement. I saw it, and yeah, you can tell there's some smoothing out or whatnot. It's not as pixely. It's more rounded face one of the residents had. But in a video game like this, who cares? That's just kind of a joke to me. It's not that much of a big thing to be like, oh man, I need to go and get the Switch 2 version right now because they have smoother chins. It's not that big of a thing. And if you're in handheld mode, it looks fine. Who cares? It's fine. Two things that are kind of cool that you can only do with the Switch 2 are the mouse controls and the megaphone, where they have the Switch 2, you can actually talk into it, and where the Joy-Cons now have mice controls. That's cool. You know, I thought that was probably Obviously, with the better improved graphics and stuff you can have on it, faster games, or faster running games, and more beefy games you can play on the Switch 2 now. The coolest addition was definitely the mouse stuff. Like, I don't know if they have a browser. I haven't really looked at the Switch 2's like UI or anything as much, especially where I don't own one, and I wasn't that big on wanting to get one at first anyways. I just know it had mouse controls, like you could use a mouse. So I don't know if it has a browser, an internet browser, native. I know the Switch 1 definitely didn't. But if it does, like, that's a cool, you could use your Switch 2 as a mini computer if you needed it. And with the mouse controls in this, it looks like it's going to be a lot easier to customize your house when just using a mouse, house of mouse, ooh, to be able to just click and drag things wherever you want to go, wherever you want to put them. That's really cool. I like that change. Makes it a lot easier. Because sometimes using the Joy-Cons to try to get it something exactly where you want is kind of dumb. Megaphone's cool too. Not as big, but it is a useful thing. Especially if you're looking for a certain person on the island. You just call their name. They showed that. By the way, there's like a 12-minute trailer online on YouTube from Nintendo about this. I implore you to go watch it. It'll probably excite you. Probably make it more exciting than what I'm making it, obviously. But the megaphone's a good addition. You can have more people on your island now, more of your friends. Instead of 8, you can have 12. And if you have the camera, you can, this is a weird addition, but I guess it's okay. If you have that Nintendo Switch 2 camera, your face will be above your villager or above your island dweller. I don't know what you call them. If I call them villagers, just go with that. I guess that's the Minecraft player in me. Above your character, it'll be your camera, and you can just share your camera with other people, and then you can obviously get in the new party chats and stuff there, which probably what I'd end up doing anyways, not even doing that stuff. I wonder if the megaphone would work, like if there was proximity chat in this that they're not talking about. Probably not, but if what I'm thinking here, stay with me. Excuse me. If there was proximity chat, and you were like on one side of the island and someone was on the far other one, maybe you could use the megaphone and that's the only way you could hear the other person if they needed you right then and there. They'd be like, "Hey, Greg!" And you're like, "Oh, Greg needs to come over there now, so here comes Greg," you know? That'd be a cool addition. But yeah, 12 people being able to be on an island now. That's really cool. Really cool if you have friends that still play New Horizons and you can basically have a even bigger party now. And then you have the whole 3.0 update, bringing a resort hotel. Some of this information, by the way, too, along with the trailer. I'm looking at the Polygon website, their article on it. Article's title is "Everything in the Animal Crossing Switch 2 and 3.0 Updates Worth Freaking Out Over." The person who was writing this also said, "I'm crashing out, you guys, so they have to be hip." Of course they do. It's fine. That's the way the world is. Adds a brand new resort or hotel. Bunch of new stuff. Bunch of quality of life changes. Storage is getting a pretty decent expansion, which is nice. Can now collaborate with decorating with people. But the one I wanted to mention the most here was speaking of collaborations, they're collaborating with other companies to bring brand new stuff for your house and whatnot. The biggest one, I think, being Lego. So the image of these Lego pieces in the New Horizons world is nuts looking. It's really cute. It looks like there's an arcade. You can have an arcade made out of Lego. That right there is enough for me to at least try to see if I can get this. I want something Lego. I want an arcade machine made out of Lego. That's what I want. That's what I want in real life, too. Apparently, too, they're bringing out the different consoles and whatnot. Like, there's going to be a Famicom, SNES, different legacy consoles that come out. And I guess if you touch them, you can play, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you can play a game from Switch Online on that console directly in Animal Crossing. Now, I'm not aware if that's a Switch 2 thing. I really doubt that the Switch would be able to do that. Honestly. But even if that's just a Switch 2 thing, that's so cool. That's actually a really cool implementation. I like that a lot. So if you want the update for the Switch 2, if you already own the game on Switch, it's only $5. Which honestly is not bad. I would have thought they would have made it $10 or heck, not even had an upgrade version and make you buy the whole thing. But they've also done it with Legend of Zelda and stuff, and I think Super Mario Odyssey had a Switch 2 update. I think those were $5, $10. So it's not that crazy that it's only $5 to update. I just thought they'd have you spend a little more because there are new things coming in whenever you do get this game. There are different things in the Switch 2 version compared to the Switch version. But hey, I'm not going to complain about this. This is good. Animal Crossing New Horizon is cute. Everyone loves Animal Crossing in one way or another. Even though I have my complaints with it, I love Animal Crossing. You love Animal Crossing. Don't say you don't, you do. It's a nice, chill game. If you already own it, just spend $5 more and you get an updated version with new things you can do. New small features that help better the game. And the update is free, even if you don't get the $5 update, $5 upgrade. What's there to be mad about here? This is good. I like this. I believe they said this is coming out in January of 26. Yes, actually, January 15th, 2026 is whenever the Switch 2 edition will be available, and that's when the update will launch as well. So, again, if you just want to play the update, if you have the Switch version, free, just download it to your Switch. But if you want to update and get the graphical improvements, the ability to use the mouse, the Joy-Cons as a mouse, fix your stuff up like that, $5. Could be a lot worse. And I think it's good. Good deal. Good job, Nintendo. I'll give you a pat on the back for this one. Speaking of pats on the back, Battlefield 6, since it came out, I haven't really been hearing a lot more. I think people are enjoying it. I mean, people enjoyed it whenever the beta came out. I'm sure they fixed stuff. They've got rid of stuff here and there that they needed to. I'm sure the game's fine. I knew there was a controversy, about one of the suits or something they put in that you could buy was way too bright green, and I saw that thing. I'm like, man, that really, that's very Call of Duty-esque right there. But they fixed it. They've since went back and toned down the green color, which is good. That means they're listening, and they're wanting to keep that tone of more seriousness, more probably back to the way Battlefield was back in the PS3 era. Definitely has the look of it with those more muddied looks of grays and browns and stuff. Definitely PS3 looking game in a lot of aspects. So that's good for that. It's a different take. It's a different look to what these modern shooters are, especially Call of Duty, and Call of Duty comes out this month, so I'm sure that's going to not sell. Or no, it's going to sell because of the name. But compared to Battlefield 6, I really hope not. I want Call of Duty to look this game in the mirror and just go, why did we put this out? Why, after just putting out Black Ops 6, did we decide to do Black Ops 7? Really want this for them to be a wake-up call and try to do something else next time. Because of course there's going to be a next time. Of course there is. But back on Battlefield 6, they have released a standalone side game, which sounds cool in theory, called Battlefield RedSec. Using the Battlefield 6 engine, the stuff with Battlefield 6, obviously it's a Frostbite engine, but using Battlefield 6 assets and stuff. And I got excited because I'm like, oh, shoot, something, and it's free. Here's the thing, it's free to play. That made me super excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this going to be? Like, what is this? It's a battle royale. I thought they weren't going to do stuff like this. Now, of course they did. Of course they would, though. It's like, man, I thought they were going to, like, change it up a little bit. It was just going to be Battlefield 6. No, of course it's not. Of course it's not just Battlefield 6. Of course they had to make a battle royale out of this. Of course they did. I'm sick of battle royale games, man. I'm not good at them. Don't get me wrong. It's not just because it's a skill issue. It's not. They're just so. They're not my thing. I don't like battle royales. I don't like having to play a little bit and then having to continuously go to in a shrinking bubble, trying to defeat people. I just like classic like team death matches and hardcore team death matches and search and destroys and stuff from Call of Duty and whatnot. I like those types of games. Battle Royale just never stuck. Even the great ones. Even the ones that are really good, that people really enjoy, really are popular, just never stuck. So I was definitely disappointed when I heard that it was basically just a Battle Royale. However, they do have a different mode in there too. It's a gauntlet mode. I'm not really sure what this entails. I didn't look too much into that part. But it's some sort of gauntlet mode that's like elimination style. And you can face NPCs and stuff, I suppose. That would be the mode I would play if I were to download this. I'm not downloading this. I'm sorry. I have no interest. A BR mode, even if it is side to Battlefield 6, I have no interest in buying and downloading RedSec. Because, of course, it's a Battle Royale mode that they're just going to constantly try to promote skins and promote things that you want and try to make you buy stuff. And that's another part of these free-to-play games I'm just tired of. Just the constant, like, trying to get you to buy something, no matter if it's just cosmetic or whatnot. I don't want to see it. I don't want to play it. Battle Royale is not my favorite mode of all time at all. I don't care. Even if it has a mode that I might like, I don't care. But for you, it's free, so it's no harm to try. But if you're going to play a Battle Royale, in my opinion, just play Fortnite. I mean, it's really weird for me to say just play Fortnite, not liking Battle Royales. But is there really one that's better, honestly? But if you want a more realistic Battle Royale, I guess Apex. I don't know if that's still any good, but Apex is still online. And then Call of Duty Warzone. That's been a thing forever. I just think there are other options that you should look into. Even if, like, the realistic crumbling buildings and stuff are really cool. Even if it is good, I don't know. To me, it's just another Battle Royale. Do you need another battle royale to be any different from any other battle royale that's been out there before? No harm in trying. I'm just trying to let you know that other battle royales definitely obviously exist. Have fun, but it's not for me. Getting close to the end already. Relatively short episode. This was a quieter week. We did have the YouTube stuff, as previously mentioned at the beginning of the show, but this was a relatively quieter week in terms of news and whatnot, and not mentioning the whole Xbox stuff is definitely a huge sigh of relief for me in particular. But I do want to mention another video games console. Obviously, if we're not talking about Xbox, and we've already talked about Nintendo, who else are we talking about? PlayStation, obviously. So I think a segment that I'm going to do here from now on is mentioning, because I am a PlayStation fan, I am a PlayStation fanboy. I'll be the first to admit that. I cannot deny it. I have a bunch of PlayStation labeled stuff. My office, if you've seen it on Save the Planet, bunch of PlayStation stuff in here. I think every month or so, if I remember, I'm going to just let you all know the free games of the month for PlayStation Essentials, the PlayStation Plus version of the cheapest online you can get while owning a PlayStation. I would go into the Plus, Extra, and Premium stuff, but that's a lot. That's a lot of games to go over, and these are a lot easier because this is the one that people with possibly lesser funds could get into doing if they wanted some free games, but not the whole big old library that they offer. And in comparison, this is how they used to be with the free games of the month, that you just keep them once you've added them to your library. These ones don't go away. If they're in the Essentials program, they won't leave your library once they're there, or they shouldn't anyways, unless they've changed things up. But from my understanding, they're just like how they've always been. Once you download these games, or once you've added these games to your library, even if you don't have Plus or Premium, as long as you keep your PlayStation Essential subscription going, or even if you pause it and bring it back later, they'll still be there. You can play it anytime. So my opinion on this month, unfortunately, though, is that it's very underwhelming if you've never played these, or if you've never played games like them. I just think it's kind of an underwhelming month this month. Now, not to say that these games are particularly bad. It's just that last month, I'm pretty sure, had Alan Wake 2 as the free game of the month. So, that's I'm not saying that these games are bad at all, but when you have Alan Wake 2 as a free game of the month prior, and then you get these as your next options for the next month, bit of a downgrade. I will have to admit. So what are the free games of the month? You're probably like, get into it. Let us know. We're tired of waiting. Well, here they are. Stray. The PS4 and PS5 version of Stray is coming to PlayStation Plus Essentials. This, when I say underwhelming if you've never played, this is the game that I think of the most, for sure. Because, this game was available when they updated this Premium and Plus program stuff, when they added this stuff and they got rid of PlayStation Now. This was their main game they were hyping up. And then they got rid of it. They got rid of it because I guess they just lost the, not the license, but the trial was up for it. So it's oh, you don't have access to it anymore. That was so bad because I wanted to platinum it. It was fun. I like Stray. Stray's a good little game. Again, though, in comparison to Alan Wake 2, come on. But still, it's a great game. But if you're an Essential member or a member of any of the other tiers, just higher tiers, you can keep it forever now. So it won't go away. As long as you keep that Essential, at least the Essential. So that's good. It won't go away again now. The game about stray cats became a stray after a couple months of being on PlayStation Plus Premium. Or I just find that hilarious now that I just thought of that. EA Sports WRC 24. If you are a fan of racing games, here you go. This is a good dirt racing game, like how the old WRCs are. Only it's got the EA Sports banner, so expect microtransactions galore. And EA just having Codemasters under their grasp just doesn't sit well with me at all anymore. I think the F1 games have suffered, it sounds like, for sure, because of that. So if you like the simulation like dirt races that rally, that's what I was thinking of. I was sitting here for a couple of minutes just trying to think, what the heck am I thinking? Dirt race rally games, rally races and whatnot. This is the game for you. But honestly, and I'm being real here, speaking of dirt, bring back dirt. Bring back the Dirt series. Dirt 5 was great. It just, to me, just screamed like classic arcade type rally racing / actual like going on tracks, dirt tracks and whatnot. It was just fun. It was a fun arcade style game. Dirt 5 was awesome. And I want another Dirt that's just like that. Dirt 6, make it happen. I want it to happen. I know they probably won't make it happen, which sucks. And then the final game of the month for PlayStation is Tabs. Totally accurate battle simulator. Listen, nothing against this game. Perfectly fine. Looks fun. I'll definitely try it. This is not a game that I could get into for more than 10 minutes. This would be a game that I'd meme and do a couple where it's like one Roman against 10,000 centurions or some kind of stupid thing that makes more sense, but I don't really know. Because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But yeah, this is one of those games that I would play for about 10 minutes and be like, okay, time to go back to a game I can spend hours on. This isn't a game for me that I would get into and just stay into. This is a meme game to me. And when I talk about the underwhelming thing, again, this comes up as Alan Wake 2. You know, that was a free game last month. Am I going to play totally accurate battle simulator more than I would play Alan Wake 2? No, not going to happen. And would not happen. So those are your free games of the month with PlayStation Essentials. I just want to bring this up. I'm not going to bring up everything on Plus Extra and Plus Premium. Like I mentioned, that's just way too much. But I'm going to bring this up because it just makes me sad. So this month, PlayStation Plus Extra always gets rid of games at certain months or whatever. Every month there's new games that come on to let people play, and then new games that go away. New games that go away to make room for other games people can try. Well, unfortunately, one of the games that are leaving PlayStation Plus Extra is Little Big Planet 3. And it's just once again confirming even more that PlayStation is just completely given up on Sackboy. They've given up on Sackboy. They found their new toy. I relate this. Obviously, this is a meme online, but it's just so accurate. They have replaced Woody with Buzz from the original Toy Story. Buzz is now the hot new toy, and we're all Andy just taking him in. We are looking at Astrobot and just like, man. And it makes sense, too, because Astrobot is more futuristic robot look, and Sackboy is just a sack with fluff in him. It's kind of the old school kind of like way of Woody being the cowboy and whatnot. It's literally the exact same thing. PlayStation has made Sackboy Woody from the original Toy Story movie. And it sucks because, unlike Toy Story, Woody becomes appreciated at the end. Like, he's legacy, don't get me wrong, but, like, he's still mentioned. He's still, around to some extent. I don't see them going back to running back Sackboy anytime soon. The age of Little Big Planet being a thing is over. And now we have cute little Astrobot. We replaced one cute figure with another cute figure, at least. But it's sad because there's nothing wrong with Sackboy. There's nothing wrong with Little Big Planet. Media Molecule, I know, abandoned Little Big Planet so they could work on Dreams. And how great is that, knowing that Dreams is also dead? So God knows what Media Molecule's even doing nowadays. I don't know. And while Little Big Planet 3 was not that good in comparison to 1 and 2, the heart and the creativity people put into it was still there. And you could still play those created Little Big Planet 1 and 2 levels on there. Whenever online was on, but you could still play it. And now the only thing left of Sackboy is Sackboy's Big Adventure. That's available. I'm pretty sure that's available on PlayStation Plus Extra. If not, it's like, well, heck, now there's nothing even of Sackboys that you can play there if you have a subscription fee. They've completely abandoned them. And it just sucks. There's no... It's a whole problem with PlayStation, going back to something stupid that one of their heads said a while back, is that they just don't have enough IPs. What are you talking about? This is your problem. You have them and then don't use them. Or you replace them. You don't have an IP problem. You have a failing to use your IPs properly or at all problem, because you get bored. I've never seen a company get so bored with stuff that they have so quickly. They just don't see it as a good investment or something, so they get bored with it and just go on. That's my huge problem with they had with the Vita. That was such a good little piece of hardware. And because it wasn't selling well, a year later, by their own doing, by the way, because the whole memory card situation was stupid. And then they tried to advertise it as a remote controller for the PS4. And then they got bored with it and just gave up with it. They didn't put any more interest in it. They just get bored with so much. PlayStation Stars, that was a recent one. They did it for what, a year, maybe 2? And again, it just seemed like they got bored. Again, it's more an issue with probably they weren't seeing any benefits to it, so they just shut it down. But really, as many times as they do this, it just seems like they get bored. And just like, we're not doing this anymore. We're bored. We're going to go on to the next. Dumb. Now, again, I'm a PlayStation fanboy, but I will call out stupid when I see stupid. And some of the stuff Sony and PlayStation do are just stupid. Like this whole generation being more live service based. Your bread and butter are these single player adventures, doofuses. And you've had great ones, but those get sidetracked by all the dumb stuff that you've tried to do with live service. Can we talk about Marathon again and the whole Bungie situation? Can we talk about the $400 million you wasted on Concord? But you have one really good hit this console generation. Really the only game that you can say is particularly PlayStation, particularly Sony. And it's time to own that. When's Astro going to go away then? I'm surprised he didn't go away. Because Astro's been a thing for a while, only on VR. You got real lucky that Astro's Playroom was really popular to give us Astro Bot as a full game. You got really lucky. Hell, we got real lucky. Because they could have abandoned it like that. Rest in peace, Sackboy. All right, that's it for me. I think I'm done. Shorter episode in comparison to last week, but again, not a lot to talk about this week in terms of news and stuff. But thank you so much for listening. Speaking of listening, check out Save the Planet podcast. It is available on Spotify right now. Our Halloween episode. This coming week, we already have the episode in the can, and I cannot wait for you to hear this next upcoming episode. In fact, the next few episodes are going to be highly interesting. You should definitely check it out when you get a chance. You can watch it on Spotify. There is video of the podcast now only on Spotify. But if you want the uncensored version, that also has video. And if you want Save the After Show, which we also just brought back this past week, you will have to join our Patreon on Save the Planet podcast as patreon.com/STPP Jack and Keith. STPP Jack and Keith, to be exact. Go there. If you want the free version, you can just listen. There's a hub where you can listen to past episodes of STPP. You can listen to episodes of OMO there, too. You don't have to go to Spreaker or anything extra. You just listen to them on Patreon. If you become a $1 tier member, that's how you get access to the uncensored version of Save the Planet podcast. It is uncensored as well as longer. A little bit longer compared to the versions that go everywhere else. But if you become a $5 member, you get that. You get the access to the other shows, the hub and whatnot. And you get Save the After Show. Really funny one this week. Next week, too, will be really good. Definitely recommend you all going there and checking those out. So thank you so much for listening. Once again, this has been On My Own with Keith. Next week, I'll probably have to mention Xbox, at least in terms of actually talking about them, not a quick little mention of it. Hopefully not. Hopefully there won't be anything new. I'm crossing my fingers. I don't want to talk about them. But if the saga continues, next week it will continue. This week I didn't want to. A pass by saying I'm not is all I wanted to do, and that's all I did. So we got through it. We got through a week without the Xbox, the Cashbox saga. Woo! We did it. Next week, though, buckle up. We could easily be back. Okay, thank you all so much for listening. Until next week, I love your faces. Have a good week, everybody.